As I grew, I realized the monsters weren't under the bed. The monsters are in your head. You can't have a positive life with a negative mind. You have to repeatedly, consistently drive out a negative mentality. This is not just a habit, this is science. So you have to really work hard at changing this. Your mind tries to take you back to how you used to think.
Welcome back to another episode of the Todd Durkin Impact Show. And we talk about impact. Today is going to hit you square in the face, man. This is going to be a great one today. I've got a very special treat. My man, Jeremy Foster, is in the house, and this is going to be so special for you to listen in. We're talking about what the best leaders see that others don't see. We're going to talk about leadership. We're going deep, and I'm going to get to that in just a moment. Hey, a couple things. Number one, thank you, as always, for the great feedback. 2 weeks ago, we had a podcast episode on hiring, and then last week was all on culture, building a culture from the ground up, what we're doing at Impact X Performance here in San Diego, and great feedback on that. So thank you very much. And finally, all of you who have dropped questions in my community app, 619-304-2216, thank you, because next week you'll be getting my answers to the Q&A that I received in the last week or so. So thank you very much for getting that over on our community app. As always, Impact X Performance. Man, oh man, guys, as this drops, it's February. I've been saying we are about 4 to 6 weeks out. Let's just say by early March, baby, San Diego will be opened, and I cannot wait. Now, listen, everything's got to go well over the next 4 weeks or so. And if you want to follow along, if you're in San Diego or you just want to follow along on all the progress being made, hop over to impactxsandiego.com, impactxsandiego.com, or on Instagram, you can go to ImpactX San Diego and follow along some of the progress over there. Been posting over there a little bit more than my other spots. So if you want to track it, go over there as well. The one thing that I'll share today, because I'll keep it short and sweet, because Jeremy Foster is going to drop some bombs today, is, and this is applicable for everybody, control the controllables. I said it last week. I said it the previous week. When it comes to Impact X Performance, when it comes to construction in general, there's only so much we can control. I wish we could speed things up, but it is what it is, and we're going to be open before we know it, and I cannot wait for that time here. Let's call it early March or so, but control the controllables. Whatever you have going on in your life, just keep coming back to the mantra, control the controllables on that. And speaking of Impact X Performance, we are in the midst of planning out all of our live events for 2026. So excited. You know, I love live events. And Impact X Performance is opening in March. The last weekend of March, for any of you in my platinum level mastermind group, we'll be having our first event with the mastermind in the end of March 26th to the 29th in San Diego. And then just a couple months later, I'm going to drop all of the information probably within 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, for anyone outside of San Diego that wants to come on in. My 3.5-day mentorship is returning. This is the first time you're hearing it. My 3.5-day mentorship is returning. I have not done one of these since 2019. 2019, I did my 19th mentorship. Guess what? We're returning it now that I got IXP. I'm so excited to share my mentorship, and this is going to be for at least the first one, the 20th one. The first one here in 2026 is going to be all for fitness professionals, gym owners, fitness entrepreneurs. So buckle up for that. That's going to be coming up in May of 2026. And I cannot wait with all that's coming up here in March and April. It's coming fast, but slow it down. Be where your boots are at, right? As I always say. So that being said, it's time to speak about what we're going to speak about today. My friends, we talk about Jeremy Foster. Y'all know I live events. I love live events. And last November, I had my annual retreat where? in Whitefish, Montana, my favorite place on the planet. And Whitefish, Montana, we had 110 fire-breathing dragons out there. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about. That is for sure. Well, one of the guest speakers was Jeremy Foster. Now, I had known Jeremy, and I invited him to come out to the retreat. And let me tell you what, this man spoke for over 2 hours. 2 hours this man spoke and dropped some absolute gems. People were laughing, people were crying, they were shouting and hollering and everything else. I shared going into that November annual mountain retreat is that Jeremy Foster is one of the top 5 speakers I've ever heard speak. Let me repeat that. I've heard a lot of people speak, and he is in my top 5 of speakers. Well, today you're going to get the privilege. We're going to go out to Whitefish, Montana, and I'm going to give you an excerpt of the talk because, again, I'm not going to share all 2 hours of his talk, but you're going to get a great snippet of his talk and what he shared, because I promise you, this man is going to help change your life. Now, listen to Jeremy Foster's background, right? Jeremy lives in Houston, Texas, and is known for his adventurous spirit and heart for helping people. From bull riding cowboy and political consultant to transformational speaker and leadership coach, Jeremy's story is marked by grit and growth. In 2015, he founded one of America's fastest growing congregations. And then in 2022, he joined John Maxwell's team, John C. Maxwell, that is, his team as the chief marketing officer. Today, he advises CEOs through Fosco Leadership Strategies, that's his company, and runs a marketing firm focused on clarity and impact. Imagine that. That's why I like him so much. Jeremy shares life with his wife, Emily, and their blended family. Together, they're united by their love for God, travel, and serving others. My friends, Jeremy Foster is going to change your life. And in this podcast, in the Impact Show, we always talk about each and every episode is designed to be special. Well, this one is going to certainly do that. Jeremy in Montana talked about something called the awareness advantage, what the best leaders see that others don't. Here's what you're going to get in today's episode. What if your company's biggest roadblock isn't strategy, skill, or structure, but self-deception? Most leaders believe they're self-aware, but only 10 to 15% actually are. That gap is costing you. In this game-changing episode, we're going to expose the hidden leadership blind spots sabotaging your culture, your team, and your results. You're going to learn why awareness, not just intelligence, is the true separator of high-impact leaders, and how to confront the silent killers of growth, blame, bias, and burnout. That's right. If you ever hired the right people but still gotten the wrong results, this episode today is going to reveal your why. Your next breakthrough won't come from learning more about the business. It's going to come from learning more about you. My friends, we're going out to Whitefish, Montana, my annual retreat, and you're going to hear right now from the one and the only Jeremy Foster.
I'm really glad to be here, and I just want to thank all of you guys for coming, for investing in yourselves, investing in your business, investing in your family, investing in your future with 2 of the greatest people to ever do it. Todd and Melanie are amazing. Amazing. Metro Pop. I felt the same way, bro. When I met you, you were so, here's the impressive thing to me about Todd, okay? Other than just his acumen with fitness and encouragement, he's leaned in. He's a learner. Okay, so I'm speaking at this event, and this mother's taking more notes than anybody. And he's also squirming in his seat because you were sitting right here to the left of me, and I could hear him over there. And by the way, in case you don't know this, you can't whisper, okay? You think it's a whisper. He's going, dude, it's so good. Oh, Josh, you yelled it. So it's like a conversation between me and Sire. It's not a real conversation. It was awesome. I had so much fun, dude. And then afterwards, he was like chest bluffing me. I went away store from a pond with Tyre. Okay, that's known. And then Mel, just meeting you, what a gift, what a blessing you are, and just such a compliment to him. Dinner last night was awesome, hilarious. What's that race car driver's name we were talking about? Harvick. Okay, so we're talking about NASCAR, and you're talking about Kevin Harvick. And he's like, Kevin Harvick. And Mel goes, oh my God, he's hilarious. and Mark is sitting there like, well, maybe. And he's a really funny race car driver. They don't go. She definitely heard Kevin Hart. So the conversation, or NASCAR, Kevin Hart, The Rock, like all different places. It's fun. I like it. We're gonna have a great time today, and I'm very honored to be with you guys. Here's how I like to run a workshop. Okay, just so you'll know, we'll probably do some Q&A at the end, maybe if we get to that. But I actually like to run a workshop with Q&A all throughout. So if there's something you don't understand or something you want to ask more about, there are no dumb questions, and there might be, and I'll tell you, that's a dumb question. I'm kidding. If it's a question that actually moves me forward in the presentation, I'll tell you, hey, hold that because we're going to slide into that. But if not, I like to rabbit trail, okay? If you were in chapel this morning, I am ADHD, full-on non-medicated. That's my superpower. And if you don't know what ADHD is, it's attention deficit. Hey, look at the butterflies. That is my whole life. That's what I do. My wife knows. She's sitting right here. This is my beautiful wife, Emily. I love you. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. All right. And on that note, before we jump into anything, there we go. Let me show you my family. This is my little fam, okay? So this is not all of them, all right? We're a beautiful little blended family. I have 3 older daughters as well. So my oldest daughter, she's 28, and she is a genius. She has a master's degree in communication and marketing. She runs my marketing company, and she helps me in my executive coaching company. And then I have a 24-year-old and a 23-year-old that are both brilliant as well. And God has really, really blessed me. And these are the guys that keep us sane and insane at the same time. So if you look at this picture, this was last Christmas. This is everybody's personality to a T, okay? Right here. And that's how I usually look. And this is Emily all the time. Like, hey guys, I'm happy. And just, she's a chef. So I eat 3 meals a day. She cooks 3 meals a day. Most mornings she's up at 4:30 or 5 cooking hot breakfast for the kids. So give her a hand. I love it. And this is Tyson, and Tyson is mine now. And he is the smartest kid I've ever met. This is not offensive to anybody. I call him Asian smart, okay? Full on. Like, see, that's your lap. You know. All right. You know. All right. He can name all the presidents, okay? He can name all of the countries in the world. And he can name all the capitals of all the countries in the world, okay? And so he looks at me, he's like, hey, Dad, let's name the country. And I'm like, no. Because I got like 7, and then I'm done. And he starts getting into all the extends. The stand here and the stand. I'm like, dude, that's not a country. I literally did that one time. I was like, that's not even a country. And he goes, look it up, Dad. And I was like, you go to your room, you know. These 2 brothers right here. This is Jackson and Gunner, and that's their personalities, okay? Jack is like super chill. Gunner is just he's wild, okay? He's Todd Durkin as a child. And so, you know, depending on which one's talking to me, that's the level of seriousness that I take the conversation. So if it's Jack, it's pretty serious. If it's Gunner, I don't know if it's true or not, okay? How many of y'all have kids like that? How many of y'all have a favorite kid? Raise your hand, kid, go. Hey, good to be honest. We know. How many do you have?
I have 5.
Okay, good. I was going to say, don't say 1 because that's not fair. All right. 5 kids, you got a favorite, and they're not here right now, so you can wave your hand. Terrible. So it's fun, and he's videoing you, so we won't say who it is. I love all of my kids, and they're fun. Some of them challenge me more than others. And you know, like some of you have kids, your first kid, you're like, this is amazing. And you have another kid, you're like, never again, you know. So I have 7 total in our little blended family. And Gunner is my most challenging, fun kid, okay? He's always got something new. So a few years ago, we put a pool in. I taught the boys how to swim. They were probably 4 and 5 at the time. I came home from the office, and Gunner came running up to me. It's December. He comes running up to me, house decorated for Christmas. He goes, Dad, today. He's real animated. Jackson saved my life. I'm like, awesome, son, because I don't know what's coming next. And Jackson's standing right behind him, and Jackson's kind of just looking at him, and he goes, I fell in the pool. Okay, yeah, that's a serious thing. Okay, now you got my attention. You fell in the pool in December, 4 years old. I'm like, Bub, what happened? And he's like, yeah, I fell in the pool, Dad. It was really cold. I'm like, okay. And what happened? He goes, and Jackson reached in and pulled me out. He saved my life. And then Gunner turned around and he would run through the house like that as he's gone. And Jackson was standing behind him, literally just kind of kicking the floor. Like, oh, look, I got on one knee and I was like, hey, Bub, look at me. We're country, okay? I was raised in a cowboy family. I rode bulls and saddle bronc horses. That was my sport. I said, son, that's cowboy, son. That's rodeo. That's Western. I'm proud of you. You're a hero. That's a legend, son. at 5, 6 years old, can't remember how old he was, 5, 6 years old. That's amazing. I'm really proud of you. And I want you to mark this day. I want you to remember this day because that's who you are, son. We save lives. That's what we do. He looked right at me and he goes, well, I might have pushed him in too. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Sometimes, you guys hear me okay? Did I lose this mic? So good? All right. Sometimes you are the solution, all right? And it feels good. But more often than not, you're the problem, okay? I want you to turn to your neighbor and say, you're the problem, okay? You're the problem. Today, you're my problem. Today I'm going to teach you fact. When you walk out of here today, my goal is for you to be able to see where you are the problem and a clear path on how to fix it. How many of you believe you're self-aware? Raise your hand if you believe you're self-aware. You're self-aware. Okay. All right. How many? This is so funny because according to Harvard Business Review, 95% of people believe they're self-aware and only about 13% are. Okay. So when you raise your hand like, I'm absolutely self-aware, there were people at your table going, probably the person you came with, and I don't. At the end of this session today, you are going to be able to know how to gauge whether you're self-aware or not. You're also going to be able to know whether or not you are living according to your values and whether or not your company is living according to your values. I'm going to give you a very clear-cut test, an assessment on how to do that. Now, I'm going to jump into something, and I'm going to ask your permission to do it. All right, I've already talked to Todd, and Todd is like, dude, this is who we are. Go for it, baby. That's Todd, all right? But I'm a person of faith. I used to be a pastor. I'm a business guy now in a couple of businesses. I do keynote speeches. I travel, do this kind of stuff all the time. I love it. But I'm also a man of faith. I'm very grounded in my faith, all right? And so I'm going to talk a little bit about my faith today, but I would never want to offend anybody, okay? In most corporate environments, I can't do what I'm going to do. Todd has given me permission to do that. So most corporate environments, I cannot use scripture, okay? I can't talk about the Bible. In fact, most of the time I'm contracted not to do that, okay? And so I'm a guy who believes that the power of God is even more powerful than the mention of his name. So if I can't mention his name, this power still got to be in the room. That's where I believe, okay? And I believe that for us today, okay? So what's funny to me is whenever I am in one of those settings, I do use scripture. I just don't put chapter and verse, okay? So I'll say something like, listen, in the multitude of counsel, there is safety. And people are like, dude, that's good. And people are believers are like, that's Proverbs, okay? So today I'm gonna quote directly from scripture, and I'm gonna help you because all of the mindset stuff that you've ever heard, how many of you guys love like positive mindset? Raise your hand if you love positive mind. All of that stuff has its roots in scripture, okay? And so that's where we're gonna go first. All right, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10 says this. I love this because I've never been able to use this in this presentation, so it makes me fired up. All right, for we are God's masterpiece. Okay, turn to your neighbor and say, you're a masterpiece. You're a masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus so we can do, everybody say do, so we can do the good things he planned for us long ago. So here's what that means. If you are a masterpiece, there is a master plan. So how do I, and this is what I hear a lot, how do I find my purpose? How do I get in on what I'm supposed to do? How many of you ever wondered, what is my purpose? Raise your hand if you've wondered, what is my purpose? Okay, let me ask you this question. This is a real honest moment. Okay, takes the guts to admit this. How many of you are still trying to figure it out? What is my purpose? Okay, sweet. I'm in the right room. I'm getting ready to help you figure out your purpose, okay? Today, you will leave knowing baseline. You may not figure it all out, but you'll leave baseline understanding your purpose, okay? Here it is in the scripture, okay? This fires me up, guys. It lights my hair on fire, okay? Not really, okay? So I'm not a magician, right? Here's what the Bible says. Do not conform to the pattern of this world. Do not conform to the pattern of this world. All right, so let's talk back a little bit. I want you to tell me some examples of the pattern, and you don't even have to be a Christian to know this, okay? All faiths kind of talk about this. I want you to talk to me about what are some of the patterns of the world? Give it to me. What do you got?
Go to school.
Go to school.
All about you.
All about you.
Politics.
Politics.
Image.
Image.
Do what makes you happy.
Do what makes you happy.
Negativity.
Negativity.
Club sports.
Club sports. I hate club sports. Travel to baseball.
Polarizing views.
Polarizing views.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification. Now here's what's funny. Yes, sir.
Participation trophies.
Yeah. Participation trophies. Absolutely. Mark, you like that one, don't you? Mark told me I love participation trophies. Everybody should get. You said the opposite. Yeah. Right. Say again. So I had
Politics.
politics.
All about you.
All about you. Okay. Now I want you to notice. We've talked about it's all about you, self-gratification, image, drive, rise and grind, hustle. How many of us have struggled with that? Raise your hand if you've struggled with some of that. Image and I gotta get ahead. Okay, so that's why this is important. Whether you are a believer or not, that is not a good pattern. But it's a pattern that all of us get caught up in, okay? So here's what it says. Here's how we defeat that. Be transformed. This lights me up by what? Mindset. So if you want to know why you should have a mindset coach, the Word of God was talking about this 2,000 years ago. To renew your mind. Now, I love mental work. I love understanding the brain. If you want to renew your mind, you kind of need to understand how the mind operates. You need to understand neural pathways. We'll talk a little bit about that. Renewing of your mind. Then, everybody say then. So if this, then that, you will be able to test and approve what God's will is good, pleasing, and perfect will. So how many of you want to know what your purpose is? Very simple steps. You look at your patterns, adjust your mind, and then you will know what your purpose is. Okay, so today, this is the title of the talk. It's not what's in the book, sorry. I got pretty fired up yesterday and changed what I was going to talk. So, ignite the power in your pattern. Ignite the power in your pattern. So if you want to know where your internal power is, it is in your patterns. It is in your patterns. And the funny thing is, all of us have patterns, okay? Let's be honest. All of us have patterns. Let me ask you a question. How many of you like Oreo cookies? Raise your hand if you like Oreo cookies. And man, we're with a fitness group right now. You like them, right? You love them. You love them, right? Okay. All right. Let me ask you that. Thank you for being honest. She literally looked at me like tears in her eyes. I love them. How many of you, it's an honest question, how many of you can only eat one Oreo? You can eat just one. Just raise your hand. Psycho. Come on, eat your hands. Come on, bro. You can eat just one?
It's so annoying. He takes just like a bite of a donut.
I agree. You must leave now, all right? I can't just eat one, okay? My whole deal with my wife is I'm like, look, don't even put them in the house, okay? I make it a spiritual experience. I will baptize them in milk. Come on, you know what I mean? Right? I have blacked out before I'd eaten all 3 rows on accident. And then she's like, what happened? I'm like, these kids, you know. That's a pattern, okay? That's a pattern, right? And I come by it honest. I was born in Louisiana. I told some of y'all the other day, Louisiana, where's my Louisiana people at? Louisiana people, Louisiana, we know. We go to lunch to talk about what we're going to eat for dinner, right? That's Louisiana, all right? Jambalaya, come on, etouffee, come on, gullo, come on, some crawfish, come on, some beignets, woo-wee. All right, that's some good food right there, okay?
Amen.
I like good food, okay? And I come by it honest because my mom is a really good cook and she's a good baker. So she doesn't just bake one pie, she bakes 3 or 4 at a time, okay? So have you ever had buttermilk pie?
Oh, yeah.
Right, you raise your hand if you've never had buttermilk pie. It sounds awful, then. It's like, why would I? It's tricky. It's tricky. Because you're like, buttermilk pie, ooh, no. And then you eat it and you're like, oh, it's amazing. Right? So she'll make buttermilk pie. She'll make like pecan pie. She does this chocolate chess pie that has pecans and chocolate. It's just ridiculous. And then she comes to my dad, and this has been happening. I'm 48. This has been happening my whole life. My parents are 74, 75. It still happens. It's going to happen next 2 weeks at Thanksgiving. This exact conversation is going to happen. My mom comes from my dad, and they still call each other baby and honey and sweetie and make it weird. They're awesome. I love my parents. That's my best friend in my life, all right? So she'll come, she'll go, hey, baby. He'll go, yeah, sweetie. And she'll go, what pie would you like? And my dad, this same thing goes, what do you have? And then she tells him all three. He goes, baby, I think I just want a sliver. That means in the South, that means we'll kiss a little bit. I want a sliver of all three. And she goes, okay. And she goes over and she brings him full-size pieces of each. Am I right? This happens every time. And he goes, my goodness, Paula, you brought me a whole piece of each pie. I can't eat all this. And then he eats all of it, okay? All right. That is the pattern. Now, here's my question. Is the pie the problem? No, the pattern is the problem. Most companies that I work with, and I work with a lot of companies, specifically in the oil and gas space. I do a lot of work. I do all of the leadership development coaching for the Renewable Gas Coalition, 500 RNG companies, and then I work with a lot because I'm in the energy corridor. And it would shock you how many of them have a great product of bad patterns. Okay, I'm going to give you three things that bring success or failure. And this is in your business, okay? So let's talk business for a second, all right? It's people, patterns, and resources. All right, people, patterns, and resources, all right? Very rarely do I go into a company, in fact, I can't think of one, that I've went into that has a bad product. The vast majority of them have pretty good product, okay? But the problems lie with people, patterns, or resources. Mark, you were talking just the other day. You took a gym that was declining.
Yes.
It was a good product.
Yes, sir.
But it was a bad pattern. Okay? And maybe bad people. Not bad, but just not the right. Okay? This is the exact conversation I have with the C-suite. I'll say, tell me, out of these three things, which one is your biggest challenge? What do you think they say?
People.
Yeah, it's always their fault, right? It's always the people. If we could find the right people, everything would be all right. Write this down. Hero finding. That's what we're doing as employers. We're hero finding. If I could find the right, we're still just looking for the right person. And what are we doing? We're actually looking for the person who will handle all the chaos that we created or that we've ignored and fix it for us. Okay? So we don't even, somebody said this with C-Watt. By the way, C-Watt crushed it. He's the one who changed. It's his fault. He changed my talk, okay? I was going to talk about something different, and then that brother got to going like, dude, I'm fired up and fired me up, okay? And he was talking about toxic people. And somebody asked the question, how do you make sure you don't hire toxic people? Here's what I would tell you. There's two types of companies, all right? When you're hiring people, you can be one of two types of people, okay? You can either be the sign holder or the picture studier. They write that down. You don't know you need it. You need it. You can be the sign holder or the picture studier. I travel a lot. I travel to a lot of airports. How many of you guys travel a lot? You travel a lot. Okay. How many of you have you ever got picked up by somebody at the airport? A lot of times when I'll go in for a conference, they send somebody to the airport to pick me up. Okay. There are only two types of people who pick me up. There are sign holders or there are picture finders and picture studiers. The sign holders hold a sign that has my name on it. And they stand at the bottom of the escalator. We've all seen those guys, right? Have you ever just wanted to walk up to them and be like, yeah, I'm that guy? And just, anybody ever done it? Yes! You're a crazy person. And I like it. So here's what happens. If you do that, you get in their SUV or their limo, you go wherever they're taking you. But then when you have to do what is required of the person whose name is on that banner, you're not going to be great at it, right? Like they're looking for a doctor and you're like, I'm a fit bro, Then there's another type of person that picks me up, and that is the picture studier. The person who's gone online, they found out what I look like. They looked at my Instagram, they looked at my LinkedIn, they know what I look like. And when I start calling down the escalator, they go, Jeremy Foster. And I'm like, sweet. They know exactly who they're looking for. If you have not developed the profile of a leader in your company, then you're just a sign holder. You're hoping the right person comes up to you. And listen, people interview well, but if you don't assess them, we used to put people through 5 different assessments. If you don't put them through assessments to actually listen, and when I'm saying assessments, I'm not just talking about scientific assessments. I tell companies sometimes you need to play games with people. And I'm not talking about mental games, literally games. Play Uno with them. You don't know how they really think? You know, I wonder if they'll cheat. We didn't hire a girl one time because she got super mad playing Uno. She got like ridiculously mad playing Uno. We're like, no, we need a driven person, but not crazy. Yeah. All right, if it's okay with you, again, I'm a spiritual person, so let me put a little spiritual bit on this, all right? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. For those of you who've studied the Bible a little bit, this is not a trick question, not a hard question. I'm not trying to trick you. What was the last thing that God created? Anybody remember?
Day of rest.
Day of rest. He didn't create that. He did that. But that's a really good option. What was the last thing he created? It was people. It's people. It was man, and then he saved the best for last. Woman, right? Okay. And everybody agrees with that, right? And if you don't, you're single, and that's fine. Oh. Well, learn some. Check. Kidding. All right. And then what did he do with man? He said, name the animals. And the man was like, got it. And he named the animals. That is the process of creation. When you're creating a company, or when you're creating a process, or when you're creating a plan, we often do the opposite. What if God would have created man first and held him on his hand and said, look at all this chaotic darkness. I want you to name the animals. I'm going to set you right over here. And man goes, what's an animal? And he goes, you're the wrong guy. I got to find somebody else. That's exactly what we do with people. Rather than walking through the process, doing the hard work of killing all of the chaos, making it work, very clear job descriptions, very clear expectations, very clear duties lists, creating, well, that's so hard. How many have you ever been told this? Why don't you write your own job description? You know what that is? Just lazy. That's what that is. And that's a recipe for disaster when it comes to expectations. More often than not, it is not the people. It's rarely the resources, unless you're a startup and you're looking for capital. It's usually the patterns or the systems in the company. Let me prove this to you, okay? All right? Nobody here, I promise you, probably. Well, let me ask a question first. How many of you guys, and you can be honest, it's okay. How many of you guys really love McDonald's? Anybody love McDonald's? You just raise your hand if you do. We know it's bad for you, okay? I know that. It's not really, it's barely fitted, right? Okay, you sit a hamburger out, those last like 10, I think they just did a research on one of the last like 10 or 20 years, okay? With no mold. That ain't food, all right? How many of you like McDonald's French fries? Anybody like McDonald's French fries or cheeseburger? Okay, so now you're being honest, all right? Cool. Well, I got a warrant, and now you're like, yeah, it's not. All right. Not saying, but nobody in here has ever walked out of McDonald's and been like, oh my God, come here, get in a selfie with the golden arches in the back. I'm like, best hamburger joint that this little mom and pop place is amazing. Nobody's ever done that, right? Why? Here's why. They have a consistently average product. Consistently average product all over the world. The only time I get excited about McDonald's is if I'm traveling abroad and I'm eating weird food and I'm like, McDonald's, okay? Because you know it's going to be a pretty average burger, okay? But they have a really good pattern processor system. So good that anybody can work at McDonald's. It's true, right? Here's why. Because you only have to be able to read to work at McDonald's. Their processes are in pictures. And so they attract just anybody. Now, if we want to compare and contrast that with Chick-fil-A, different experience, right? Totally different experience. Why? They attract different people, not better people, not worse people, just different people. Why? Because their pattern is different. Okay, so if you really want to raise the game at your company, you need to look at your systems. You need to look at your structure. You need to look at your patterns. If you want to raise the game in your relationships, with your family, with your kids, with your spouse, you need to look at your patterns. What are my patterns, okay? This is really, really important. And so what I want you to do is we're going to take about 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes, and I want you to write down, because all of our patterns come from our values. Well, this is where I got fired up about CY the other night. So we're going to talk about values right now. So what I want you to do is I want you to take just a minute by yourself, and I want you to write down what your values are. They can be your personal values, they can be your family values, or they can be your company values. I want you to take time, and I want you to write that down. You have about 1 minute to do that, all right? All right, I'd like to hear somebody share, what are some of your values?
My work is correct.
Say again?
My work is
My work is correct. That's a value.
Autonomy, time, family, peace, and appreciation.
Autonomy, I want somebody to tell me what to do all the time. Time, family, appreciation, love.
We win together.
We win together. It's a good one.
Kindness, compassion.
Kindness, compassion, those are good. Yes, sir.
Find a way.
Say again?
Find a way.
Find a way. I like it. Find a way to spend 28 minutes in the water. Is that right? 8 minutes today? 20 minutes yesterday? Oh. Start calling you, what's the frozen little snowman? That's you. All right.
Honesty, trust, loyalty, adaptability, independence, and work ethic.
Love it. Who else? Yes, sir.
We were better than you.
Leave a room better than you interviewed. Yes, sir.
Can't watch other people work.
Can't watch other people work. I like that. That's good. That's a good one. Yes, sir.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing. Wait, where are you from?
Oh,
Yeah. Want to fight for freedom right now.
I love it. I wear the thing I face blue, just man. Oh, it's almost as bad as Mel Gibson. Yeah.
Sakey. That's why I learned it, bro. See, bad and hell, my accents are awful. All right, Mark.
Be a scholar and a warrior.
Be a scholar and a warrior. Okay, so have we heard any bad values?
No.
No. In fact, some of you are like, ooh, that's mine too. I like that one. I've never heard bad values. Okay, now, I'm going to show you something. When we look at, and I want you to think about this. How many of you own a business? Raise your hand if you own a business. All right, I want you to think about this as it pertains to your business. Okay, this is, everybody needs vision, mission, values. This is what I help companies with a lot. I'll come in and I'll actually assess it because I've never heard one that has bad vision, mission, or values. Okay, ever. All right. Here's McDonald's vision statement. All right. I want you to think about this. All right. To move with velocity, to drive profitable growth, and become an even better McDonald's, serving more customers delicious food each day around the world. That is their vision statement. All right. Now, here are their values. All right. To serve. We put our customers and people first. Inclusion. We open our doors to everyone. Integrity. We do the right thing. Community. We're good neighbors. And family. We get better together. How many of you have ever felt that at a McDonald's? Are you laughing? It wasn't a joke. It was a question.
Say yes.
This is your aha moment. Those are all really good values. But you laughed, and maybe you own a McDonald's. This is no knock. I've done this before, and there's been McDonald's owners and operators in the room, and I felt like an idiot later. But they actually came up to me like, hey, good for once. Chick-fil-A. Corporate purpose. I'm not saying one's better than the other, just different. To glorify God by being a faithful steward of all that is entrusted to us, to have a positive influence on all who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. That's their vision statement. All right, here's their core values. And they have a bunch of stuff written under here, all right, but I won't go into all that. We are here to serve, we are better together, we are purpose-driven, and we pursue what's next. How many of you ever felt that at a Chick-fil-A? Have you ever felt that? Raise your hand if you felt that at a Chick-fil-A. Isn't it weird how one elicited laughter with a question? I asked the same question with the same tonality, and it elicited, yes, I felt that. Okay, so here's what I want you to write down, and this is really, really important. If vision is sight, values are behaviors. Values are not spoken as much as they are felt. So McDonald's values sound awesome, and your values sound great. But if they don't translate into behaviors, they're not values. Listen to me, this is really, really important. I want you to look at it for just a second. They're not values. They're vision. Your vision should always be aspirational. It should always be out of reach. It should always be something that we are striving for and pushing for. If you have already accomplished your vision, it's probably not vision, or it's time to write a new one. It's always aspirational. Values, oh. Guys, please get this. This is your aha moment. Values are never aspirational. This is the crux of everything I will teach you today. If you look back at that page and you're like, yeah, I really want to do that. It's not a value. It's a vision. And you should put it in vision and not values until it's actually a behavior that you do. Does this make sense? This is more important than anything that I will tell you. And here's why. Because patterns are shaped by behaviors, and behaviors are shaped by values, and patterns don't lie. They reveal. All right? I have a big, large oil and gas company that I work with. And I went in And I did my values assessment, my mission and vision assessment with them and talked to them. And I sat down with their employees. And this is what's fun. If I come into your company, I tell you what will happen. Most companies. I've only had one company this didn't happen. It was amazing. I'll go in, I'll sit down, and I'll sit down with their executives, and I'll sit down with just about anybody in the company who will let me. And I'll say, tell me the vision, the mission, the values of the company. Can I tell you this? I have never heard bad answers, but the vast majority of the time, they're all different. Because it's not been pounded into their head what it is. And here's why. Because most value statements on a website would be 3 printed pages. And they look awesome. Yeah, we value these 28 things. It's amazing. We're a good company. And then I begin to see that none of that actually lives in the company. And this is why the employees hate the company. Because the company's a liar. So is your company honest or are they not? Are your values reinforcing or taking away from your vision? Okay, let me give you an example. I go into this oil and gas company. It's amazing. It's a pretty good company. They're doing about $143 million a year. They've just got a partnership with Oracle. They're going to quadruple in the next year. And I'm working on them with their values. Okay. And I asked the CEO, what is your number one value? Before I can even end that with a question mark, he goes, family, man. He didn't really say that. He's just a big, tough dude. He says, family. Family over everything. I said, well, tell me more about that. Family's more important than anything. Family first. Family. Well, yeah, you're doing a family. And it's really serious. It's family. So I asked him a question. This is what I'm good at. I said, that's awesome, dude. Family. Number one, family. I said, the family of the company or family? There's no family, like their family. We're family, their family is our family, family. I said, dude, that is powerful. One question. Do you ever text or send emails after 6 p.m. to your team? He goes, yeah, man. You get the job done. I said, but hey, this family? He goes, well, I always tell them, you don't have to answer this right now. Okay, so here's my question. This is what I accept. I said, cool, let's pretend that you're 23 and you're working in your very first company, because he was an engineer, you're working in your very first company, and your leader, your boss, let's say the CEO of the company, sends you an email at 7:30 p.m. and says, hey, don't look at this tonight. We're going to talk about it in the morning. What are you going to do? He goes, I would have a 5-page brief before in the morning. I said, exactly. So we don't value family, we value productivity. Family is a vision, not a value, because it's not showing up in our behaviors. Ding, 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 ding. But once you start looking at your values through behaviors, not just, yes, sir.
What did he say?
He said, you're right. And then he said, how do we fix this? And I said, I'm glad you asked. And so we actually wrote all of their values with behaviors beside it. And I instituted in that company what we call digital sunset. So at 6 p.m. Eastern time, there are no more emails, texts, Teams meetings, unless it's something that's predetermined that doesn't happen all the time. And I said, guys, with technology, he goes, sometimes you just gotta get it off my mind. How many of you are leaders? Leaders, we do that, right? I just gotta get it off my mind. How many of you have said that before? I've said it, I just gotta get it off my mind. And you get it off of your mind and put it on theirs. You don't want to think about it all night, so they do, right? It's called delegation, right? I delegated all of my pressure to you. And what you're saying is, I don't care about your family. I don't care about your time. I don't care about your stress level. I care about me. And I value productivity. So I don't want you to read this, but I also want you to be ready at 7:30 a.m. to talk about this. So here's what I would tell you. If you value FaceTime and eye contact and connection with your spouse and your kids, but your phone gets more eye contact than your spouse or your kids, that's a vision, not a value. Does it make sense? I want you to look back at your values real quick. Look back at your values. And I want you to write some behaviors beside them. I want you to write some behaviors beside them that you are actually doing now. If I say I value peace, but my schedule looks like a war zone, then I value chaos more than peace. I want you to look at your values, and I want you to write some behaviors beside them.
Where my values is love, and I make sure that we hug and kiss before we follow him before we leave.
That's great. So now the value is tangible. Okay? I want you to write this down. Naming neutralizes. Naming neutralizes. Okay? When I make it a behavior, I can actually work with it. Right? I work with a lot of people. I work with a lot of C-suite people, and it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. And sometimes they have a really hard time of verbalizing what they're actually dealing with. Okay? So let me give you an example. If you come and you just tell me, I'm tired. Just tired all the time. How many of you have felt that way before? I'm just tired. Okay? If you tell me that, what am I going to say? Sleep. It's not sleep. Okay, so you're not just tired. What are you? I'm stressed. We work with stress. I'm burnt out. I can work with burnt out. Because the biggest contributor to burnout is lack of clarity. So I'm not clear somewhere, so therefore I'm burned out. It's not overwork. A lot of times you think, oh, I'm just too much. No. It's just not clear enough. Things aren't clear enough. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. But if somebody comes to me, and I again, and you guys are coaches, you know, a coaching relationship is never just about fitness, right? I mean, it's holistic, right? And so I'll have somebody say, well, I'm stuck in my marriage. Can I help with that? Can I help with stuck in my marriage? What question would you ask right there? Say again. How are you stuck in your marriage? Because I can't help you with stuck in your marriage. But if they name it, then we can neutralize it. Well, I don't feel seen. I don't feel needed and known. I feel like we've given up. Cool. We can work with that. So you have to name it in order to neutralize it. So if you just say love and you don't say, we're going to hug and kiss every day when we come home, no matter how awkward it is, as your kids get older. Because we kiss you, mama. Oh, wait. Okay, but that's a behavior. What else? What other behaviors we got? Isn't it?
Intentional, not opening email, social media in the morning. You sleep to my warrior call.
So good. How many struggle with first thing in the morning, just checking your phone? How many struggle with that? Okay. All right. That is a habit. And we're going to talk about that. That is a habit that's based on a pattern. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay. Any other behaviors? Behaviors. Somebody give me some. She wrote down. This now.
Discipline. Plan, execute, follow up.
Plan, execute, and follow up. It's behaviors. Okay, so we can say discipline, but if we don't have behaviors that align with it, then it's just aspirational, okay? I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to answer. What does being wrong feel like? Come on. What's being wrong feel like? Terrible. Feels terrible. What else? Failure. Lonely. What else? Embarrassing. Those are all good answers. They're wrong. Those are the wrong answers. Because the question was, what does being wrong feel like?
Sad.
And you said sad and unhappy. You're describing what it feels like to find out you're wrong. What is wrong? What does being wrong actually feel like? Feels right. But that's what it feels like. You ever argued with your wife? Come on, let's be honest, guys. Have you ever been arguing with your wife? This is just for the fellas. Middle of the argument, you realize, oh God, I'm wrong. Immediately go, babe, I'm an idiot. I was wrong. We change the subject, boy. Hey, well, where's I going? Yeah, boy. Where's she's angry? We can get around this. Okay. Being wrong feels right. I wonder how long in your life you have been wrong about what you believe about you and how that needs to change. How you have to do the homework to change that.
Wow. Oh, wow. Is Jeremy Foster bringing the heat or what? Now, listen, I know you're feeling it in the episode, but imagine if you were sitting in the room listening to this man speak. People were up and they were cheering, they were hollering, they were laughing, they were crying. I mean, it was absolutely epic. And I hope you're doing the same listening to today's episode. Now, what I did for the second hour, instead of giving you the whole hour, got to be in the room. We just had a little mashup and my team got after it. They had some highlights that they wanted to share from the second hour here. So without further ado, a little mashup of Jeremy Foster getting absolutely after it from Whitefish, Montana. Let's keep the show going right now.
I'm not going to go deep into this. This is a scripture you can read later, but you can change the way you think. Think about things that are good and pure and lovely and dwell on the fine good things. Remember, all of this stuff is in the scriptures, guys. It's in the scriptures. Think positive thoughts. Think good thoughts. I got another one here, and I won't stay on that. I will stay on this one. Okay, I want you to write this down. Devotion drives discipline. How many of you guys love discipline? Raise your hand if you love discipline. Okay? There's some of us that do say we love discipline. And I would tell you, you probably don't actually love discipline.
You like
Okay? You love devotion. Because discipline without devotion is trash. Question is, why do you do what you do? We don't love discipline. How many of y'all were spanked as a child? Raise your hand if you were spanked as a child. Lucky people. I was never spanked as a child. I was whooped. That's a whole different... I know, oh, right? That's a Texas size spanking, all right? A spanking is like, ow, 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 that hurt. A whooping is like, oh my God, I can't feel my butt, right? Okay? How many of y'all's dad, your dad, like, so for me, my dad was like, hey, sometimes he didn't have to say anything. He was just like, oh, like, bro, we dead. Why? Look at that. Oh, God, we're dead. Moms, man, I love y'all. How many moms do you have there? Raise your hand. We love y'all. We love y'all. Love y'all. Y'all are crazy. How many of you speak more than one language? Okay, my wife speaks 6 languages. How many of y'all speak more than one language? Okay. If you're a mom, raise your hand, because all of y'all speak more than one language. Okay? Because you can speak English, and then you can speak fully understandable sentences through clenched teeth that only your kids understand. Am I right? Yeah. My mom, I'm standing beside my buddy. My mom's, he was like, bro, what she said? I said, she said, I'm gonna die. You gonna die too. These kids nowadays, man. Oh, God bless them. These kids nowadays, man. Have you ever been in a store and just seen a kid screaming at his mom? You ever seen that? We didn't used to see that in the 80s. You know why? Because anybody can spank us. Y'all remember that? Like, my neighbor could spank me. My dad be like, yeah, it ain't good. I'll get you when he gets home. We didn't have time out when I was a kid. We had time to knock you out. Over the damn. I saw a shirt the other day, and I wrote it down, and it said, I was spanked as a child, and now I suffer from a disease called respect. I might be like, I'm kids shitty. Don't spank again. Some of y'all spank them. I'm kidding. None of us like disciplines, but we have to find out what we're devoted to. Why do you work out? Why do you post consistently on social? Why are you dripping? Devotion drives discipline. So when I figure out what I'm devoted to, it changes everything. I'm going to go through some limiting beliefs because this is what a lot of us have. We have limiting beliefs. So I'm going to jump through some of these. And if you have them, I want you to write it down. Okay? Some of you are going to be like, no, don't have it. Oh, I got that one. Some of you are like, check. Can't write that fast. All right, here we go. Number 1, confusion about who I am. All right? So who am I when I'm not producing, performing, or receiving praise? Okay? Some of you, it's insecurity. I'm afraid I'm not good enough, smart enough. Some of you, it's indecision. What if I choose wrong? Some of you, it's shame from past mistakes. Some of you, it's comparison. Looking at the other person all the time. Looking at their highlight reel while I'm living the behind the scenes of my own life. Some of you, it's people pleasing. A lot of us, it's people pleasing. Right? Some of you, it's bitterness and unforgiveness. Grief or unprocessed pain. If I face this pain, it'll break me, so I'm not going to deal with it. Some of you, it's fear of success. If I get this, I might lose it. I heard that yesterday. If I rise, I might fall. Some of you, it's perfectionism. A lot of you, it's perfectionism. It's not perfect. It's not worth doing. Some of you, it's financial pressure. Some of you, it's exhaustion or burnout. Lack of vision. Toxic relationships. Unrealistic expectations. Misaligned priorities. Emotional immaturity. Some of you, it's procrastination. Just waiting for the right time. Some of us, a lack of accountability. False humility. Distraction addiction. If I'm busy enough, I won't have to feel this burden. And so it's entitlement. All right, who wants to share what yours is?
Very intentionally in the last 2 years. And the reason is it presents where I build resentment when I'm trying to please others so much that I don't prioritize what I need or what I want. So that's mine.
So you care a lot about what people think?
No, I care about not letting them down.
Oh, I don't want to let them down.
Yeah.
So I don't care what they think.
No.
Really doesn't.
But I don't want to let them.
Yeah, I don't want to let them down. I don't want to feel like if it's a family member or if it's him, I don't want to let them down. I don't want them to suffer. I don't want
Where'd that come from?
comfortable. Middle child. I'm the mediator in my family.
Middle child, I'm the
I'm
mediator.
the mediator in my family. I've been that way my whole
When did you first remember I can't let them down?
16.
Okay, what happened? Can you tell me?
Yeah, my older sister got pregnant and was very big catastrophe. And then it seemed like I had to be the one to set the example of what the rest of the siblings are going to do. And so I decided I'm going to join the Marine Corps. I'm going to graduate high school early. I'm going to go out there and make things happen because I wanted to make my dad proud and not put our name to shame. And so from then I'm like, that's it. I'm going to take care of all of this.
So if you have ambiguity, you have assumptions, and you have avoidance, here's your 3 killers for those. Clarity, curiosity, and courage. You want to kill ambiguity? Get clear. Get really clear. You want to clear assumptions? Get curious. Ask good questions. If you're ever in a meeting with me, in fact, if you've been in conversation with me this week, I've asked you a ton of questions. We've had a conversation and I've asked you questions. Okay? Because I want to get curious. In fact, I want to give you a little tip. Have you ever been attacked by somebody? Yes. Have they ever attacked you in a meeting, people mad at you? I'm going to tell you how to fix that. Okay? Because you have a pattern. When you get attacked, how do you feel? What happens? Defensive, what else? Soft, that's a good one. What else? Blood pressure rises. Again, I've replaced a pattern in my head that when I feel attacked, I don't get defensive, I get curious. Okay? I want you to stand for just a sec. If you don't mind. I'm a big guy. All right? I'll be a say, you suck, bro. You say it.
Ready?
Suck, bro. No, say it like my up, bro. Tell me more about that. It sucked. I can't stand you. Tell me what you mean by that. Make them explain it. What does it do? You're replacing a pattern. I'm still defensive. I'm still frustrated inside, but it's giving me time to calm down, and it forces them to explain something they just said. Now they have to talk about it. And what do they not want to do?
Talk about it.
Okay, so we're replacing the pattern, something different that works. All right, and then question goes down. The 3 C's are clarity, curiosity, and courage. Sorry, I should have put those on the screen, but I thought of them this morning. Number 3, that's true. Number 3 is trust the pattern. Trust the pattern. Stick with the pattern. Trust it. When you change these patterns, it's not going to fix everything immediately, right? We know that. So don't abandon them quickly. How many of you get frustrated when something doesn't work out the way you want it to work out quickly? Anybody get frustrated? How many of you patience is a challenge for you? Okay, that's probably most of us, all right? How many of you, whenever you're flying, how many of you love to take, like, connection? You're like, ooh, I look for as many stops as possible. No, we want to go direct. But in life operates like an airport. There are hubs and spokes. Sometimes I have to go here to get there. A few years ago, I was on my way to speak at a conference, and I was in the plane, and I think I was going to Charlotte, North Carolina. I think is where I was going. And the pilot came on, and he's like, please, Sheldon, if you're a pilot, stop that, okay? Please, Sheldon. He said, we'll be on the ground in about 25 minutes. We'll fly this will prepare the cabin for landing. See you at 45 minutes later, we're still in the air. We're still above the clouds. That brother's a liar, right? We're not where he said we were going to be, and I'm frustrated, okay? And I'm not verbalizing it, but I'm antsy, okay? And then he comes on and he goes, ladies and gentlemen, if you look out the left side of the plane, you will see a storm has blown up over the airport, and it is not safe for us to land. So we're going to go into a holding pattern for a little bit until where we're going is ready for us. Sometimes I'm ready, but where I'm going is not. You know what I thought internally? Thank you, bro. Thank you. Because I'd rather be Jeremy Foster late than the late Jeremy Foster. You know what I mean? Okay. Write this down. When you renew your mind, it'll renew your mouth. You'll talk different. You can tell when you're slipping by how you talk. Okay? Words have incredible power. I'm going to prove it to you real quick. Prove it to you real fast. I want everybody, pencils down, close your eyes for just a second. Close your eyes for just a second. Close your eyes. All right? And I'm going to say a word. And when I say a word, you're going to see something. Okay? Close your eyes for just a second. Some of you are nervous. We know who we're with. If you're nervous about who you're sitting next to, just hold onto your purse. That's okay. All right. Here we go. Eyes closed. Dog. Express. Dog. Big dog. Okay, open your eyes. How many of you saw a dog? Raise your hand if you saw a dog. How many of you saw 3 different dogs? You saw a dog, then you saw a mean dog, then you saw a big dog. How many of you, it was the same dog and he just morphed? Okay, it was like, and then you look, and then you look. Did anybody see the letters D-O-G? This way, really smart people. Anybody see Snoop Dogg? Something. Guys, that's my last time here. It's fun. You're having a good time, right? Here's what I want you to understand. We don't even know each other that well. But I've said a word and you saw something in your head. That's how powerful words are. I can't just tell you, hey, speak positively. It matters what you say. You hear about manifestation? It's absolutely true. You don't just manifest. You say it and then you go do it. You say it and then you go do it. So you have to recognize the pattern. And if you're consistently talking negatively, the pattern is not working for you. Number two, you have to replace the pattern. You have to replace the pattern. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of that really quick. The three biggest challenges, again, we'll jump into business for just a second. And this actually would work in your home, in your relationships. The three biggest patterns in business that I see that are a problem, write this down, are ambiguity. There's a G in there somewhere. Ambiguity, assumptions, and avoidance. Ambiguity, I don't know who's doing what. I don't know who's in charge. You ever been in a meeting and it's like, hey, I need somebody to look into that. And everybody's like, yeah. And then the next week, we're like, who looked into that? I don't know. Ambiguity. Assumptions, okay? I assume that they know. I assume that it's handled. I assume that you understand everything. Number three, avoidance. I don't really want to deal with it. I don't want to micromanage. Hopefully it'll work itself out. How many leaders have said, I mean, you have said, hopefully it'll just work itself out. And rarely does it work itself out. So the three, again, we have to replace the pattern. So if you have ambiguity, you have assumptions, and you have avoidance, here's your three killers for those. Clarity, curiosity, and courage. You want to kill ambiguity? Get clear. Get really clear. You want to clear assumptions? Get curious. Ask good questions. If you're ever in a meeting with me, in fact, if you've been in conversation with me this week, I've asked you a ton of questions. We've had a conversation and I've asked you questions. Okay? Because I want to get curious. In fact, let me give you a little tip. Have you ever been attacked by somebody? Yes. Everybody ever attacked you in leading? People are mad at you? I'm going to tell you how to fix that. Okay? Because you have a pattern. When you get attacked, how do you feel? What happens? Defensive, what else? Soft, that's a good one. What else? Blood pressure rises. Again, I've replaced a pattern in my head that when I feel attacked, I don't get defensive, I get curious. Anybody scared of the dark as a kid? Okay. I was scared of the dark as a kid. Again, I'm a person of faith. And so I would get scared and my mother would come and pray for me. How many of you had a praying mom? Raise your hand if you had a praying mom. Okay, I have a praying mom. My mother texted me this morning, a voice text, praying for me this morning. And she was praying for you. Okay, so she doesn't tell you, but my mom is she's been on her knees this morning praying for you. Before my call Foster, heaven heard it, okay? Because my mother, if you run it, my mama prays over everything. If you run into my mom at Walmart, and she's like, how you doing? You're like, well, I've just been going through shit right now. In the name of Chief, Mama pray for you right there. My mother prays for parking places, okay? True story. We'll be pulling to the grocery store. This happened a couple of Thanksgiving ago. We're pulling to the grocery store, and Mom goes, oh, God, give us a good parking place. And like four people back, they've already even finished shopping. They're like, I don't know what. My mother would come in at night and pray over me because I was scared of monsters, right? And you see shadows in the closet, you don't know what it is. You're afraid something's under your bed, right? And you would put the force field on it. How many of you believe the covers were a force field? How many of you remember that? To protect you from nothing, but it felt like it could, right? Mom would come in and she would pray for me. And she would start with like a sweet prayer, like, oh, Lord, go ahead and rest her. And I'm like 7. I'm like, oh. I'm like falling asleep is great. And sometimes I would fall asleep while she was praying. And then I would wake up later and she was still praying. But it was different. I don't hear those prayers because they were different. Okay. Because then she was like, and right now, God, I believe that he's going to do great things for your kingdom, God. But if he's ever going to walk away from you, God, if he's ever going to walk down a threat, God, if he's ever going to do something different that is not for you, God, that is for the devil, Teddy can right now. Lady, I have sold your soul. Give me some time. Here's what I learned. Over time, as I grew, I realized the monsters weren't under the bed. The monsters are in your head. This is why mindset is important. I want you to write this down. You've probably heard this before. You can't have a positive life with a negative mind. You have to repeatedly, consistently drive out a negative mentality. Okay, so, but why do we struggle with this? Why is it, how many of you have a positive mindset? Raise your hand if you have a positive, and it may not be natural. You work on, I'm going to have a positive mindset. But why is it we find ourselves going back to a negative mindset? How many of you positive mindset people find yourself falling into negative mindset? Raise your hand. Okay, all of us, right? And I'm going to tell you a lot right now, okay? All right. And I'm going to, how many of you guys love music? Anybody love music? Okay, most of us like music, okay? And even if you say you don't like music, you know, they don't like music, but then you're in your car and you turn on the radio and your jam comes on, it's like Drop It Like It's Hot, and all of a sudden you got like a 55-year-old white dude and you're just banging down the road, like, what's up? You know, you just do your thing, right? Okay, stop, collaborate, and listen, right? You know the words, okay? But old, you know those words, right? All right, How many of you like you love new country, the new country that's out? How many of you can't stand the new country that's out? Raise your hand. Okay, so we might be old songs, right? Okay, I'm going to prove this. I'm going to sing a song, and you're going to finish it. Okay? Are y'all ready? And I want you to bring it. I want you to bring it. I want you to bring it TD style. It's taught in here. All right, I want you to bring it, baby. Okay, from the back. I want to hear you. Okay, here we go. Shout through the heart.
And you're soothing. You kick the bad face.
So good. Sweet candlelight. Good times never look so good. That's the club version. So I know where y'all been. We love the old songs, right? And this is why we get stuck. Because we're trying to learn something new, but our neural pathways drag us back to old ways. I'm going to prove this. I'm going to sing a song, and you're going to finish it. Okay? Are y'all ready? And I want you to bring it. I want you to bring it. I want you to bring it TD style. It's taught in here. All right, I want you to bring it, baby. Okay, from the back. I want to hear you. Okay, here we go. Shout through the heart.
And you're soothing. You give the bad face.
So good. Sweet candlelight. Good times never look so good. That's the club version. So I know where y'all been. We love the old songs, right? And this is why we get stuck. Because we're trying to learn something new, but our neural pathways drag us back to old ways. If you understand your neural pathways, it takes about, scientists are all over the place on this, but between 60 and 90 days to really create a new neural pathway. So, and if you abandon the behavior that you're trying to change, then it just becomes a heat ridge in your brain. So if you don't understand neural pathways, I'll give you a real quick example. Have you ever been walking in the woods? You're just walking in the woods. No trail, you're just in the woods. And then all of a sudden you see a trail. What do? That's your brain. Your brain has trails. And if they are dominantly negative, you can be just walking through your day and boom, negative trail. And anything can throw you in that pathway. Right? So if you've ever worked in the woods, and I'm a hunter, I like to hunt and do all those kind of things. We brush pop and blaze trails and all that stuff. If you leave a trail alone long enough, what happens? It grows over. Some of us just need to leave the trails alone and stay on the right trails and create new neural pathways, okay? In your brain, it's actually called the reticular activating system. Okay, some of you guys ever heard of that reticular activating system? Okay, I'm gonna explain it to you, and I think it'll help you really, really quickly. It's your automated memory bank, okay? So if your brain automatically remembers things that it says, you need to know this. That's your reticular activating system, okay? I'm gonna ask a question. How many of you remember your very first phone number, like your home phone number? Remember that? Okay, we're gonna say it on the count of three. You ready? 1, 2, 3, say it. You know why you said that? Because you're old. I did. I'll give it. Kids nowadays, like, I don't even know my kids' phone numbers anymore. But I still remember my very first phone number because I was born around before the internet, right? Y'all remember when the internet happened? AOL, you got mail, right? And do you remember, anybody remember when you got the extra long phone cord? You walk through the house, you go to your room, and then it was like you would hit the end of it, it would jerk the phone out of your hand, and then do you remember when we got that wireless phone with the antenna?
Yeah.
You remember the old phones? Like if you got mad at somebody, you remember hanging off the phone? Yes. How good did that? Wait, you're a suicide counselor? Wait. See a lot of Andrew there. Okay. What would we do? You get mad like, I'm sick of this. Bam. These poor kids nowadays, no wonder they're mad. Because what do? I'm so sick of you. That's so mad. I'm still mad. Sir, so this is how your brain operates. How many of you have ever changed offices or changed homes in the same city? You're in the same town. And how many of you have ever found yourself in your old driveway? How many of you have ever driven home at night to your house? And you get the driveway and you're like, I don't remember ever driving. Or you end up in the wrong driveway. You end up in the wrong office. That's your reticular your reticular activating system. And what it's doing is it's taking you back to an old pathway. This is not just a habit. This is science. So you have to really work hard at changing this. Your mind tries to take you back to how you used to think.
Wow. Oh, wow. Jeremy Foster, you are one of a kind, my friend. And I am so grateful that you came to Montana, first off. We always pride ourselves on having great speakers on my live retreats. And Jeremy Foster, one of the best of any of the retreats I've ever put on. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. As a matter of fact, if you did enjoy today's episode, can you please do me a favor? Can you please share this with someone that could get great value and benefit out of it as well? Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a colleague, maybe it's a coworker or your boss or your team and employees. Whoever it is, please forward this over to them. And if you have a community yourself, then share it with your community. I believe the value that Jeremy had in here today certainly is going to make you better, and it's definitely going to make your company better as well. So hats off to Jeremy Foster. Make sure you follow him. Go to the show notes. You can look at all his social media, follow him, connect with him, tag him on the post. Matter of fact, if you take a little picture, click right now, take a picture of the Impact Show, and then share that and tag Jeremy Foster as well on that. My friends, man, I just can't thank Jeremy enough for absolutely coming to Whitefish and dropping such an amazing talk. Over 2 hours, by the way. I know we cut that and then had some snippets there at the end, but what a great job, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Last thing, again, you can connect with me at any time on my community text. This is the number. Let me give it to you. You can write it down or put it in your notes section of your phone. If you text me, I will see it, and I will get back to you with any questions you have or any comments, even things like this on the podcast. My community text number, this is on my cell, is 619-304-2216. That's 619-304-2216. And again, if you would like to follow along with the progress of my newest location for Impact X Performance, all you have to do is hop over to impactxsandiego.com. impactxsandiego.com. Log in, opt in to the emails. You'll be following along the progress. I've got special exclusive emails dropping each and every week just for those who are on my list over there. So check that out at impactxsandiego.com. And Instagram is the same thing, impactxsandiego on Instagram and Facebook. There you have it, my friends. Yet again, another great episode of the Todd Durkin Impact Show. I thank you so much for joining in. Let's go out there and have an awesome, awesome week. Whatever you do, remember, train hard, eat right, live inspired, and go create impact.